Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. Um, this is my official Florida State versus Georgia Tech prediction. As you all know, college football starts in August, late August. We're in late July, so I think it's safe for me to start picking some of these season opener games. I've already talked about Texas A&M, Notre Dame. I've talked about Miami and Florida. Now it's time to talk about Florida State versus Georgia Tech. I actually think Georgia Tech's going to have a pretty good year. They're clearly a better team with Brent Key as a head coach. They bring back majority of their offense, their quarterback, their offensive line is back except for one starter, I believe. They have a few defensive guys out, but they did get Duke's defensive coordinator, so I expect Georgia, I'm about to say Notre Dame, Georgia Tech's defense to be a lot better than what it was last year. Their run defense was not very good. They got run through a lot, but their defense did force quite a bit of turnovers, so that helped them win 7 games this past year. And again, that's not a major accomplishment, but it's better than what Georgia Tech has done in a while, actually. Florida State, as we all knew, lost a lot of their players, mostly their defense, but they do have some key players back. Fentrell Cypress, I believe is his name. Patrick Payton is back. You get Azarie, like McIntyre, whatever his name is, another defensive back for FSU. You do have a good offensive line returning. DJ Uyunglele is my concern for Florida State. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think he's going to cost Florida State some games this year. I don't think he'll cost them this one. I think Florida State should beat Georgia Tech, but it'll all depend on how well Florida State's defense holds up against their run game. Georgia Tech is very good at running the football. For the most part, they ran the football on everybody they played last year. For the most part, there were a few games that were kind of iffy, but they ran the football pretty hard against everybody. And if you want to look at any one weakness Florida State's defense had this past year, and again, not to include the Georgia game. Georgia probably would have beat Florida State with all their starters, but there's no way it would have been that bad if everyone had played. But against Miami, against Florida, even LSU at some points in that game, Boston College, Clemson, Duke, a lot of these teams were able to have some success running the football against Florida State overall. So it will depend on how well Georgia Tech's able to run the football, and it will depend on Florida State's ability to take care of the football. I have Florida State winning this game 31-24, something really close. I think Florida State's defense, because they went and got a bunch of new pieces, I think they will probably continue to struggle against the run for the most part. And again, because they're playing Georgia Tech's going to have some success again when it comes to running the football anyway. But it depends on how much success can they have, because Georgia Tech knows if they can't run the football, they're not beating Florida State. They also have to make DJ Uyunglele play good by throwing the football. Fortunately for Florida State, they do have most of their offensive line coming back, if not all of it. They do have DJ. I know his passing game has never been great, but he can run the football too. He's very powerful. He's very strong. He can run guys over if he needs to. He's hard to tackle as a runner. So I think Florida State will be able to rely on solely their running game. I think DJ takes care of the football pretty well in this game. He's not going to have 300-400 yards passing. But again, Florida State's run game will be a lot better than what it was last year. It was not very good, actually, outside of Jordan Travis's quarterback runs here and there. That's a must for Florida State this year, by the way, their run game. But I believe Florida State has the better players. I believe they'll do enough to win this game. Georgia Tech could beat Florida State. I wouldn't be surprised. Their run game is really good. And DJ is turnover prone. He's also had a habit of missing wide open guys. If you look back at the Washington game when he played at Oregon State could have upset this team. They didn't. You know why? Because he could not complete crucial passes on third down, even fourth down at some point in those games to wide open receivers. So, yeah. But, yeah, I have Florida State winning this game. Very close. It will be a hard-nosed game. Georgia Tech is a physical team. So, yeah.